Ah oui, c'est portugais au Brésil, putain.
Quando a gente tem o high ground, por exemplo, ele tem a função de ficar embaixo matando todo mundo e eu controlando o high ground. Basicamente é um lado mais estratégico, enquanto ele é o lado mais agressivo.
Basically, I have more of a support role. Whenever we're in high ground, I'm just more in the background.
Franchement, c'est pas méchant ni rien, mais je trouve que ceux qui parlent pas anglais, ils devraient pas les
non, live YouTube et Twitch, c'est pas bien checké pour la World Cup.
C'est une galère en fait, tu vois. Ils ont tellement de joueurs là qui parlent anglais, des Espagnols, des Portugais, des Brésiliens, des Chinois, des Japonais. Il y en a plein qui parlent anglais. Ils devraient interviewer les anglophones, quoi. Tu vois? Même s'ils parlent un petit peu anglais. Là, soit ils parlent à des gens qui comprennent pas, soit ils parlent à des gens qui doivent avoir des traducteurs, donc c'est lent.
Allô? Mais
je pense pas, Drag. Parce que il pourrait y avoir quelqu'un qui parle un peu anglais qui peut représenter un autre pays, tu vois. Je parle pas d'interviewer que ceux qui parlent bien anglais, juste un minimum, tu vois.
Mais
Nikov il parle anglais, hein, les gars. Il a dit quoi la dernière fois, mais vous l'avez vu jouer avec Issa. Il parle anglais en vrai.
il veut quoi lui?
Vous avez vu le trio qu'ils ont fait avec RESEAUX, Nikov et Issa ou pas? Il sait parler, hein. Genre tu vois, il pourrait interviewer Nikov, RESEAUX, Kinstar ou Hunter, je sais pas s'il parle anglais. Putain les gars, ils mettent combien de temps entre chaque game, ils me rendent fou, c'est des malades.
Alright, huge shout out to DJ Mike Brown, spinning the ones and twos here at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Golden Boy alongside Master Face, Boricua Boys back at it again, looking to bring you the fun as we have games 3 and 4 on deck. And so far, this has been one of the most exciting events I've ever been to. That game 1 was ridiculous. Game 2 did not disappoint as well, Monster.
Franchement, je suis désolé, mais le DJ est vraiment pas fou. On va Kinstar et Hunter derrière, concentrés. Ils rigolent plus maintenant, ils sont concentrés. Hein. Pareil pour Savage, hein. Il est focus aussi.
What I've loved seeing is that standings page, top 10. International through and through. You got the Japanese players popping off, European players.
Lucas, tu oxydes comme tu vas. Venez sur YouTube les gars, venez sur Twitch les bots. Venez sur Twitch.
It's now time for game number 3. The players are all loaded up in the battle bus and we are about to take off. Let's see who's going to get that much closer to raising the trophy and being your Fortnite World Champions of Duos. Here we go.
Très important les gars, j'ai une info très importante de la feed. Bad Sniper a ramassé un sniper. Je vous jure, c'est une vraie info. Je peux vous la montrer ici. Bad Sniper a ramassé un sniper les gars. C'est trop important.
Putain mais arrêtez
J'espère que vous réalisez ce que ça veut dire.
La vie de ma mère.
Ça va tout changer.
Attendez.
Grosse information.
Bonjour connard, mais je m'en bats les couilles énergie en fait, je joue pas les gars, je suis juste là, je suis sur Fortnite, juste pour le classement, je m'en bats les couilles les gars, vous pouvez m'inviter autant que vous voulez, je serai pas là. Je m'en bats les couilles les gars, genre, vraiment. Je m'en tape. Vous pouvez m'inviter les gars, je m'en bats.
Nikov qui a une check jug, Nikov qui va être full vie.
Je suis pas là. En tout cas j'espère que vous allez bien les gars.
J'aime vraiment pas leur spawn à Zexro et Vini, j'aime pas Viking. Je sais pas comment ils font pour faire des bonnes games en commençant à l'âge. À ce niveau, il faut faire 10 games sans pause. Bah ouais, c'est ça.
Comment vous allez les potes sur YouTube? Sur
C'est
Twitch,
ça qu'on disait, tu
bazar.
vois comment ils font pour faire des bonnes. Oh! Encore? Mais ils sont trop forts hein. Tu sais que KBB et Yuang ils sont trop forts les gars. Je vous l'avais dit, on connaît pas les joueurs autres que européens et NA, mais ils sont trop forts hein. Le mur a un HP mon pote, fais gaffe. J'ai dit Viking, fais gaffe à Viking mon pote. Nice ça. L'autre il a un pompe en face. On balance pas mon pote. Il a 2 snipers et une air. Il a tenté le no-scope. Il a tenté le no-scope, c'est hyper dommage. Eh les gens qui disent les FR sont éclatés. Oh, du soutien. Du soutien. Quand quelqu'un s'entraîne dur et qu'il galère, faut soutenir. Ah, c'est des mecs qui spawnent fusée les gars.
Viens, je fais que t'inviter, on regarde à deux.
Le fight de Scram et c'est 2 joueurs associés. Donc j'ai oublié le nom.
Mais on look à 2 PD. Oh mais tu... Mais gros je look pas sur Fortnite. Oh non mais... Bon gros...
Voilà les gars, on motive.
Voilà. Tu vas me rejoindre, bâtard de merde là.
Force au fer les gars, force au fer. Scram est tout seul.
Mais au pire, pour rejoindre Discord, on casse pas les couilles en fait.
Ah ils ont pas ajouté cette info sur le Max. On va savoir s'il a pris la carte de Maxel ou pas.
Putain.
Oh non, mais
je regarde pas la feed, t'inquiète. Je regarde la feed que pour donner des infos marrantes.
La gros.
Bah frère, tu veux quoi?
Par exemple, je peux vous dire que RESEAUX a ramassé une choc jug les gars. RESEAUX a une choc jug. Il peut se mettre full shield.
Un choc jug. Ah bah non, je peux pas les gars.
Vous voudrez Scram clutch ou pas?
Les gars, on va même pas regarder le truc d'un streamer.
Actually just hiding in the basement right now, hoping that these guys just kind of blow by like dust in the wind right here. As Nyx and PF's in, they think it's clear. They think it's all good because they came in and they just wrapped up one of the other players. They actually didn't initiate the battle against Mexi and Scram here. So Scram might just get lucky and be able to kind of sneak on by as he hears this powerhouse duo, this Brazilian duo,
Pourquoi tu regardes pas sur la
their way
play?
through and make their way to the zone soon.
And loot they definitely will because
C'est
they're
la
going
même
to get a
chose.
lot of resources out of this.
Je suis sur mon PC de base, donc je regarde sur mon PC,
Over in the distance,
Oui,
he's
non,
gonna be out
mais
of there.
play
Now
au
we're
PC,
making our way over
tu
to
fais
the
sur
action.
Fortnite quoi.
7 SSK7.
Bah je regarde
Got
sur
Spacey
Twitch.
trimmed. Now looking to
La
push
qualité est
on
mieux.
for this fight here potentially. Got some shots going off. Crim's is going to play that overlook position. Getting challenged there and trying to use that advantage from the down low. A little bit of that right hand, right? Just see if you can get a peek in there. Does get tagged up, Crims. That guy does back away there. Does manage to build out. And Spades is going to force him out. There you go. So they're just right now playing for that positioning, and I like the fact that they're using these, you know, the natural high grounds, right? Get to the top, hold it down. Don't really focus too much on trying to get in their face quite yet. Give yourself that moment of opportunity and really get a lay of the land, and then going for the engagement.
Yeah, absolutely. The best duos will try their best to isolate their opponents, really force them into, you know, very weird situations like this, force the 1v1s, and hopefully get those 3 shots, and then pursue the push here. So again, look at how now they're split up again. So Spades and Crims are doing a great job here, pressuring and isolating their opponents right now. And so far, they're definitely dictating the pace of battle here. That's what they want to continue to do.
They're suffocating them. Plain and simple, right?
Ok.
Not let them get any kind of movement there.
Moi j'ai un lien pour avoir la petite fille de genre en avance.
They're having a conversation of what the play is. What is the movement going to be? But Crimson Space is not going to allow them that opportunity to breathe. That's going to be the down there. Crims managing to knock down Jamside. He's looking for 7 SSK7 around the corner. And that's going to be the elimination register. Both players are going to be out of there. And a big win there for Crimson Spades.
What a clean push right there. Crimson Spades have so much to prove here because when they qualified, they were kind of looked down on like, wait a second, was it luck? Was it not? No, they're here to show it off and show why they're at the World Cup Finals. But now, hot back with Miz and Daedra, we saw them have a great day 1, came out top 10, and they're still in the running. They're in about the top 10 right now as well, based off of elimination. Not necessarily picking up too many placement points. They're heavily dependent on just piping up these players at these points of interest, and looks like Lucky Landis is theirs right now.
And they'll have that, but let's see.
Non les gars, je peux prier sur le jeu parce que ça me saoule.
They linger about it.
Je vais être tranquille solo là.
I love the fact that you go to this hot spot here, so there is going to be a
moi je vais devoir faire que des attaques pour regarder si j'ai pas
also, you're going to have that circle advantage right there. You don't got to worry too much. You can continue to focus on looting. High ground has been lost though. Miz.
Non, la cam est gêne. Oh merde.
Where's Daedra? He's
Ah mais le truc c'est que là j'ai pas un double écran alors
comment ils vont déplacer?
Je peux la mettre together. Looking for the sound cues right here. Can they find their opponent? Catch a nice little low ground peek right here. Low ground is definitely underrated if you can just kind of peek out, catch a big shot. You're almost guaranteed a headshot, which is a big multiplier.
Yeah, players don't really think about that, right? Like you always see Fortnite players go after the high ground. That's the bread and butter for a lot of players that play this game. But you know better than most that the low ground can pay dividends for you if you know how to take advantage of that positioning, and maybe some overzealous players to try and get aggressive on you. You got Gustavo along with Wishy.
I'm actually very interested to see if Gustavo's going to lead this push here, because specifically between these two players right here, this duo, this Brazilian duo, Gustavo doesn't necessarily lead the pushes. It's Wishy. Wishy's the aggressive one here, so he has the ultimate high. He's always there for the shot. What are they going to do? It's just a nice standoff.
Yeah, and that's this whole event, right? Players have just been very cautious about what they want to do. They are not trying to get too aggressive in these fights. They know what's on the line here. Millions in prizing is on the line. You do not want to make a bad decision. Be one of those teams that are eliminated out early on. But Gustavo's going to be putting shots down. Forcing this player, forcing this player. He has no build to work with as well. 19 HP remaining.
Gustavo qui est ultra lourd. Ok, qui est knock.
But unfortunately for him,
Wesley qui est très bon sur le duo.
Gustavo's out. Wishy.
Oh là là là. Mais ils étaient train de les tuer nickel.
2 elims for this duo.
Le français vient de détruire. Let's go, baby. Ok, on a Rojo et Parpi qui sont sur voie là peut-être. Vol qui est parti. Qui sont fight contre.
got the high ground against him, was focused firing on Volks. Parpi pushing back.
Oh non! C'est Hunter qui sont morts. Non! C'est elle qui finit Hunter. Non! Ah quoi qui tue Chicken? Non! Oh là là. Chicken a son dos qui se fait knock!
They'll box you out if they
oh my god.
Yeah, without a doubt, this
duo was qui met knock Fato! Non mais tous nos frères sont en train de se faire tuer là! Oh my fucking god. Vraiment qui est toujours en fight? Qui prend des puantes?
Another kind of reference to game one. They had a great game one. We saw them picking up duos, but we haven't seen them necessarily make it through the end game. All we have to do is kind of slow it down here.
Ok, on va la jockey et knock. Donc Wolfie qui est en solo duo contre Vox et Parpi. On voit qu'il y a des coups qui sont en train de faire. On voit toujours Chris et Technique qui sont ensemble. L'outil avec Kitten qui est solo pour l'instant. On voit pas son duo. Kitten, ouais, c'est ok, le duo de Kitten est mort. Kitten, du coup, est en solo duo avec son 50 HP.
Maybe they're playing that early game strategy rather than like focusing so hard. Like if you get late game, that's great, but you do want to rack up a few eliminations. Look how low the points are that have been thus far in games 1 and 2.
Benji Savage, mais sinon c'est
How many players have stayed alive in this game?
Rocknikoff,
Games 1 and 2, we were at what?
Ok, on voit mon gars, Micro qui sont toujours ensemble, Pesmix qui sont ensemble, Zestro et Vinny qui sont toujours ensemble, le nain avec son duo qui sont toujours ensemble, Lintou et Flexi qui sont va contre Javi Cool. Qui c'est qui va gagner? Ok, on voit Flexi qui vient de Kyo Tsuken. Cool qui est en train de build pour ne pas prendre des 4 il est dick, il est stun, il a son HP, c'est chaud. Javi qui est en fight. Cool qui tente des coups de shotgun. Il est dit. Chavis qui est derrière lui. Ok, ils sont en train de les spammer, il y a une puante, il prend des tickets de puante. Oh là, attention, est-ce qu'il va être ultra low? Ok, bien joué pour le répulsif. Au moins Cool qui est safe. Chavis qui est toujours là-bas, qui va tenter désespérément de rejoindre son duo sans se faire laser. Ok, on voit Chavis qui prend quand même des coups dans le shield, qui a moins de 100 HP déjà.
They need big performances. They have to push towards placement and endgame. So,
oh là là, il y a Vox et Sharpie à côté d'eux. À côté de Epic et Storm, il y a encore Serpent et Hype. Juste qui ont à l'intérieur Slakes et Rex. Oh my god. Et puis Gold qui prend des dégâts de puante encore. Qui a moins de 100 HP. Oh my god. Son duo qui est pareil, qui a moins de 150 HP. On voit toujours derrière Rocknikoff, ok, donc très bien pour nous. Rocknikoff toujours en vie. Merde pour nous ça. On a Zayt et Safe. Ah, va falloir faire très gaffe à eux parce qu'ils ont quand même fait le premier top 1. On a toujours Clix et STX, on a toujours Ronaldo et XXIF. Mitro Munga toujours en vie. Meka qui est toujours en vie aussi. Il est toujours en vie. Et Rocknikoff qui joue Ogagil qui essaie de prendre, qui essaie de tuer là. Ah mais ils se font laser par un minigun.
Ok, il essaie de faire des petits coups de pression aux joueurs. Bon, il y a le seul truc qui active, donc il y a quelques joueurs qui vont prendre des dégâts.
They were struggling
Nicob
so
qui
close
essaie
on
de
the cusp
les
every
push
single weekend, so close to
Mon gars
qualifying.
Mitron.
If it was 5
Ok, il y a Fox qui va prendre pas mal de dégâts.
or so like that, it was that close for them.
Ok, Clou va défoncer, ok. Hop, Chapic c'est mort. Il vient de se faire mettre knock. Clou qui vient de... C'est peut-être Chapic qui a mis knock. Non, c'est Clou qui avait mis knock, Chapic. Qui avait mis knock, donc Chapic c'est knock par qui alors? Ouais, mais en vrai,
as well. Crew by himself has one elimination. Going to be looking to get as many points as possible. Now we're going to be sitting with 40 duos left alive. We're going into the circle here in just a little bit. It's going to start to collapse. Salty Springs is going to be the point of interest for all of our players here. Got a lot of bodies that are going to be lingering outside. Some that are even as far out as Dusty Divot, like on the northern end of it. Sticking around there, so maybe trying to get some last-minute loot, perhaps. We'll have to see.
Here is Parpy looking for that peak. Volks and Parpy always tend to stay together, but wait a second, that was a tricky little shockwave right there. He did try to sneak his way into the build. He takes the wall. What are you going to do with it?
300 000 viewers, oh my fucking god.
Takes the wall. 184.
Cool qui vient de faire la solo duo. Mais quel monstre.
That was a huge shot. With the new tactical shock in the legendary.
That's right. When you're feeling it, man. He went right for the fight. Ambitious, the young player there from Sweden, 15 years of age, man, and he's playing for millions of dollars. So many of these players, they're just young ones. We have a lot of young fans here in the arena today. Maybe next year this could be them.
Epic, Funk, Nekil, Mitro, Mongral.
And then
Vinix,
got a few of the veterans. Sexro, Vinny, saw Nate Hill. As well as Funk, Mongrel, Mitro, Aiden there.
Oh, il y a son rostro et sniper, ok, nickel, on a encore 4 personnes.
Back over to our game 2 winners, Sexro and Vinny. No eliminations to their name thus far. I mentioned Wolfie's the aggro controller player. He went right for Nyx and to take him out on that one.
Yeah, I definitely want to see Wolfie hopefully catch some more highlights before the weekend's over. Touch base with him. He's a great kid, definitely enthusiastic about being here at the World Cup. He feels totally prepared. He's ready to represent. He's one of the few controller players to actually qualify for this weekend. It's a big weekend for a lot of players, obviously, clearly. Here you have Cease and Elevate. They haven't found the rhythm.
They've been a little quiet, man. WSOE, a great duo that has had success in the past, but this has just not been their game so far. Got to get something to turn around. The talent is certainly there. I think I saw someone on the Fortnite competitive Reddit mention, why is no one talking about Cease and Elevate? And I think it's just important to note that in order for us to talk about it, they got to start doing some things. And I think games 1 and 2 has not been their game.
Yeah, and I mean, we were there in the warm-up rounds. A lot of players were not necessarily revealing strategy, but
Mitro qui vient de knock Nyx
right there as Mitro flying down the field right there.
Oh my fucking god.
Dear me. All right, so back into the action at hand. We're gonna have 30
seconds. Ok, toujours BG Savage, ok, donc les faire tous les
notable names, obviously Mega and Dubs.
T'as tous les faire favoris.
Mr. Savage, a lot of people in the crowd popped for Benji Fisher when he walked out, as well as Mr. Savage.
Tu dois encore y faire, c'est les francophones, pas des faire.
Oh
là là, Benji qui a mis en 5, un gros joueur. Le Stremont.
Big shot right there. These double snipes, you gotta be careful. There's no standing still in a box here because you might eat one right there. They line up another.
Right.
Not quite successful that time around, but hey, all damage matters. Storm Surge, you want to
you
cannot stay.
Oh mon gars qui va tuer dommage HG. Tidra qui est mort, Michi est mort. Non.
Storm Surge claimed a lot of victims. You have to be engaged in fights. You cannot stay still.
On a toujours Oslo et bas sniper les gars, je suis pas sûr s'ils sont encore en vie. Benji qui est knock. Savage qui est solo duo.
Benji Fish is gonna be down. Just saw that one off on the side.
Oh my god.
Mr. Savage now having to deal with
Benji qui va tout faire finir.
Gonna get built above. He just needs to wait this one out here, but Benji does get cleaned up.
Bon les gars, c'est genre des kills. Benji bah qui est mort par Fexy, ok.
He used the shadow bomb, pushed up. Notice Benji was
Bon,
kind
ça va jusqu'à quand même la
of
hauteur.
harassing players with
Sur
that
deux
sniper.
teams.
You cannot hold down scope right there. He ate a shotgun
Oh,
to the face, and that's why Benji goes down. And I love what Savage did here. He just went for high ground. He had to immediately get out of there and leave his duo behind. So what can Mr. Savage do? One of the best mechanical players here today. What can he do by himself?
It's not going to be easy. Not with a lobby like this. At this point in time, he's really just looking to play the keep away game. Maybe he can pick off a player with that heavy sniper, get an elimination for himself. They only have 1 point right now.
Qui va tuer Split? Let's go, let's go.
He's still looking to harass some players.
Ok, Kazedak qui est toujours en vie. Est-ce que son duo Nord est encore en vie? Je ne sais pas. Bon les gars, si je trouve des kills, vraiment. Ok, il y a toujours Nikov en vie, en français. Mon Gravito toujours en vie. Ta gueule, gros, qui gueule là. C'est qui qui vient de tuer Net Hill? Bah Sniper qui est encore en vie, qui vient de tuer Item. Qui vient de le mettre knock quoi. Oh non, bah Sniper qui vient de se faire knock. Non, par Desro. Bah Desro. Et les mecs qui viennent de tuer Desro. Oslo qui vient de tuer Desro. Yes, pas Sniper qui vient de tuer Item. Qui vient de le knock.
They're gonna wait for you to make that mistake. And with the nerves at an all-time high here, players are certainly
Salut, je t'ai tué Facey, let's go!
in judgment.
Qui le knock et qui va tuer en même temps.
When we were looking at players just getting warmed up, so much at stake here, but there's the launch gonna go out now. Need to be wary of him aimed in the sky.
Nikov qui vient de tuer oh et moi qui vient de te faire knock.
Sailing away with no problem.
J'ai pas vu qui Nikov a tué. Nikov qui a mis knock hype qui l'a fini, je sais pas.
I've seen it countless number of times. People tweet out, you know, you fly across
the sky,
but it's all about timing. Neither Mitro nor Mongo.
Savage qui vient de finir Falty aussi légal.
And it was masterfully done right there.
Oui, c'est Dieu Mex, méga qui vient de tuer Louis Wix.
Beautifully catches someone trying to just kind of rotate on by
the
shadow
Scrap.
bomb, but that
Oh
was
là
not
là.
enough.
Mitch qui vient de tuer Noward. Non, Noward. Ok, Noward est mort. Il est knock. Est-ce que Kazedak va réussir ton pic qui vient de te faire knock par Eclipse?
Right, that patience with one another.
Ils étaient toujours en vie. Nikov et Airwatch toujours en vie.
When you're getting down to these final moments, 25 duos are going to still be standing here. You got Calculator and Macwood. They're going to have that high ground up above. Shouldn't be comfortable.
Automatement toujours en vie. Macwood qui a 4 kills les gars. Il reste 48 personnes dans la 6ème zone les gars.
With that RPG, I mean, they can basically take high ground at any given moment.
Méga qui vient de tuer mon grade. Méga qui vient de tuer Mitro. Wow! Les gars qui viennent faire la solo duo sur mon gars Mitro. Le monstre. Mitro qui a tué Eden. Les gars qui a tué Epic-Will. Quand je dis tuer c'est mettre KO pour l'instant les gars. Et voilà. Tous les joueurs mettent la pression à tous les joueurs en fait là. Mon gars Mitro c'est mort. Ils sont morts.
This is game 3 of the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Time to put up or shut up for a lot of these players.
And look at that, wasting no extra mats. They do not waste more than they have to.
This was earlier on.
Mais y'a qui va tuer mon goal,
there you have it.
Christian Klix qui vient de mettre KO Fux. Nate qui vient de mettre KO. Klix qui vient de tuer Nate Hill. Mais comment c'est possible qu'il se tue? C'est impossible. Si tu as reçu Klix, mais what? Moi je tiens de mettre KO le nain.
And they have a ton of builds to work with as well, Monster. 4 eliminations.
Il reste 3 personnes dans la 7ème zone les gars. Oh là 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 là. Moi je tiens de tuer le nain. Qui le finir? Il est qui en français? Oh il y a encore Savage, il y a encore Oslo, il y a Nikov encore. Il y a Kazedak, Nikov, Oslo, pas Sniper ou en français encore. Ça va peut-être le faire. Oslo Butterberg qui s'en bulle, c'est encore full life les gars. Kazedak qui a mid-life. Nikov qui ne va plus, je crois qu'il est mort. Nikov qui doit être mort. Ouais, Nikov est mort les gars. Kazedak qui va peut-être se faire soulever. C'est qui a tué l'équipe, on va pas l'équipe, il a fait pas l'équipe les gars. C'est qui a tué l'équipe. Kazedak est mort. C'est pour Kazedak. Pas de Sniper qui avait tué les sceptiques. A quelqu'un des 8. Oh là là, Adrien qui veut tuer. Bah c'est bien, j'ai tué Case. Oh là là, c'est lourd. Oh, c'est un buzzer qui fait un massacre. Oh là là, c'est un buzzer qui fait un massacre. Bah c'est bien, tu tues Case encore. Tu le finis du coup. Ok, c'est les deux derniers. Oh, c'est bien qui sont encore full live. Oh my god.
That's exactly where you want to be. They're still putting this pressure down.
Bah c'est lui qui a tué les mecs, Mega qui veut tuer le
Vinny, who's going to
c'est
take
qui a
him
tué
out right
Zefro.
there. So
Phoenix
Vinny's going to find his first elimination, and then he has so
Phoenix
much
qui a
help.
tué safe.
He is
Ok,
in
c'est
the
bon.
game right now, although by himself his Zextro is down.
Allez.
And now
Est-ce que les gars ça va être top 1 FR les gars ça?
duos that are still left in this game right here. Arkham somehow with a masterful rotation, he's still in as well.
C'est qui a tué Zefro. Bah c'est bien qui va le tuer encore, je vois. Les gars, je sais pas qui. On sent qu'il a tué Wolfest. Wolfest qui a tué pas Sniper, non, il a tué Superman 9, mais pas Sniper. On se fait ce Phoenix, non peut-être pas. Oh là là. Le Sniper est mort clairement les gars, il pourra pas le raid. Oslo est en solo duo les gars. Phoenix qui a tué pas Sniper qui vient le finir, Phoenix. Oslo s'il te plaît fais ça. Phoenix fait Oslo. Ok, qui va tuer. Oh oui. Ah c'est qui va tuer Phoenix. Oh c'est bon. Oslo mais ça crame. Qui va Ok, Oslo qui est bien dans la zone. Akram qui va prendre des dégâts. C'est très bon pour lui. Oh oui. Oslo va-t-il le tuer. Oslo va-t-il le tuer. Oh Oslo qui tue Akram. Oh là là, c'est
Yes,
mort.
that's right. Ozlo's now left by himself. All he has to do is time this
Oslo qu'est-ce que c'est?
fire fight, so long as he doesn't bother them. But
Oh le Dubs qui prend des dégâts, Mega qui prend des dégâts. Oh non, il lance le duo. Oh non, non, s'il te plaît. Non, Oslo. Non, pas comme ça. Oslo non. Oslo qui est crevé par Mega Dud. Ok, c'est... Oh là là, les monstres. Paco et Calculator qui me fait le top 1. Avec 8, avec 9 kills. Oh my fucking god. C'est lourd. Le freezing.
There was just something about the loadout. Seeing that RPG,
bon,
they
ça.
already were holding the best point, the high ground. You just knew pressure, and that's what Macwood did there. What was it, 7 eliminations? Hey, shout out to Calculator too. He got a couple at the end.
Yeah, he had his back. Most importantly, Dubs and Mega
Eh bah putain,
playing that defense.
c'était chaud.
Credit to Macwood and Calculator for the way that they
Vous
continue
kiffez ou pas la World Cup les gars là?
and then it was the shock sending them down low.
C'est trop
Forcing them
bon.
into that engagement. Credit to Oslo now. who
Par contre les gars, j'ai une voix cassée demain.
maybe he can get a cheap trap elimination. Didn't work
Oh
out
my
there.
god.
Top 3 placing for him.
Mais c'est lourd cette World Cup.
And then it came down to the final moment when Calculator and Macwood
Oh là, Calculator qui vient.
were able to push
Oslo les gars, je sais pas quel top il a fait. Je sais pas quel top il a fait, attendez, je vais vite
and
voir.
look how happy they were there.
Pétition.
So good. Gotta love the reactions right there.
What a game that was.
Attendez, comment on fait?
Had a little bit of a slow ramp up, you know. But that's what Fortnite will do to you. You're just talking, you're having a conversation about.
Ok, bah ça peut être 7ème. Let's go.
You're in the fight and things start.
Putain, ça faisait 38 putain de points. 38 putain de points. Dubs, Mega 31, Vinix, c'est trop. Ça, c'est des monstres, les gars, vraiment. C'est des monstres. Les deux là, c'est des gros monstres. Eh, bah ça fait Oslo, qui sont au-dessus de Mitro Mongrad quand même. L'Hydramix qui sont quand même 15ème, hein. Benji qui est 18ème. Puis bah le reste, voilà quoi. Réservé 26ème, ok. Eh, les gars, c'est lourd de ouf, non? Eh, les gars sur Twitch, on est d'accord, c'est lourd de ouf. Avouez-le, c'est lourd de ouf.
I want to take it one step further. Bad Sniper and Oslo jump up to 13 total eliminations. They didn't have anything up until this point. They just had one great drop-off game.
Ça, il la vie de ma mère, c'est un duo, mais c'est un duo monstrueux. Hein.
Because you have to be consistent, and again, there's always those wild cards, those pop-off moments. And here's a look at page 2. Any of these guys
Par contre, faut qu'il fasse gaffe au duo de Dubs là, parce qu'ils sont 31 points, ils sont 48 hein. Une bonne game, Dubs, si là safe, ils font une game de merde et que Dubs il fait une putain de game, ils sont premiers. Hein.
saw their demise earlier on. They're going to have 13 points there, but you saw the standings and
oh my god.
Games are going to be so critical. Games 3 and 4
bon, les gars,
really set that
c'est pas à dire votre ressenti, hein, les gars, clairement.
A lot of players are going to be down low. Like, there's an opportunity for you to try and get your way into that top. Really going to start to get a lot in the pricing, but for the folks that are going to be sitting in top 10 right now, they're going to be feeling very nice about their current standings. For Game 3 to be in second place, Dubs and Mega, and then Safin's 8 still performing so well.
And that's the crazy part. Dubs and Mega, everyone has been rooting for them. They're like that wild card that came out of nowhere, and they really swept the competitive community.
That's right. So we have Jordan standing by with our winners from Game 3. Jordan, take it away.
NA really showing up and showing off today. It's amazing, seemingly tapping in that nail on the coffin. Such a please pardon the pun, I have to say, calculated game here from Calculator and Macwood. Guys, well matted, well utilized. You dominated high ground, seemingly all of that in-game there. Walk me through that process of getting that high ground, attaining, and then dominating for the rest of the game.
Well, we were able to pick up 2 lucky eliminations on that outer circle of 4th zone, I think it is, and we were able to use our mats to build up. We were lucky enough to get half and half, and we were able to just beam people out of the air, hold high, and got lucky with a couple zones.
Amazing. Well, I mean, again, you had 3 games left to go. The strategy, is it going to continue to shift around a little bit, or are you guys going to maintain what you've been working on thus far?
I didn't hear the question.
Strategy, maintaining thus far. You guys have a very calculated and very patient game, seemingly leading all the way up to the end of the end game. Right, walk me through your strategy for the end of the next 3 games.
Shoot them in the head.
Shoot them in the head. You heard it here first. Back to you, GV and Monster.
Calculator gets one opportunity to show the world his prowess and knowledge of Fortnite. He just says, shoot them in the head. You gotta respect it.
You know, some people, it's just that simple. And hey, man, maybe he's just wired that way, right? We're all wired a little differently. Calculator has clearly got his head on his shoulders, and he's ready to just shoot things.
Yeah, but Macwood was the one doing a bulk of the shooting in that last game. 7 eliminations for Macwood. He looked so great, and you would expect the young Calculator to be the one that leads the charge on slaying, but Macwood, man, holding it down. And let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I mean, you know, Macwood not that much older, right? But I think it's just important to note that you have to have teammates at any point in time. You need that. It's so necessary. Got to trust in your teammate. That's what makes a lot of these duos so successful.
Yes, I mean, we've seen it from the start of every round. Some teams are just more aggressive than others, and they know how to stick together.
A lot of great moments in that game, and good news for us is that we got Sundown standing by to break it all down. Sundown, over to you.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy and Monster. Now, we talked about Safe and Zat. We just got to talk with Macwood and Calculator, but Dubs and Mega had an incredible game from the early into the mid that they transitioned into a top 2 performance. So let's dive right on in and see what allowed to make them into the top 3. First, notice their elims in the bottom corner, but the rifle fire together. The second they see the shield is down, able to pick up 1. Mega is the one who is leading the charge here. He picks up all 4 of their first elims. You can see Waller plays down, and the trap is so intelligent. Double ticks going through, places the ramp so it's phased, knowing the yellow is there, pushes in 2 more elims, chug splashes. Dubs stays up with just barely enough HP, and you can see he's trying to trap the floor every single time. Gets the mid-ground control. 5th elim for Mega. We talked about how high their ceiling was, unfortunately using the shockwave to go down and end up at a low ground disadvantage. Calculator and Macwood able to ride it out, but now Mega and Dubs have pushed into that top 3, challenging to be the first ever World Championship duo. The team who has possibly the highest ceiling, full qualified solos and duos. The question is, in the last half, the last 3 games, will they be able to keep it up? Will NA stay on top? Will Serpent and Hype represent Oceania and upset the apple cart? I'm about ready to see some hype myself. Let's throw it back inside for the last 3 games. Gentlemen, take it away.
Well, if you want hype, got you covered, baby, because these games have been incredible. And if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome to the Fortnite World Cup Finals live from New York City. We're in the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Game 3 just concluded. We had 3 different winners across 3 different games. This is our duos competition. These players are playing for a lot of money in prizing. So much on the line here. Lives will change forever after today for those players that are on the stage and some of the folks you're seeing on your screen right now in, well, I would say in a different situations than they would find themselves in. You got Vinny and Zextro, they're right there. Satan Sap, 3 games in, still holding on to first place. It has been wild stuff. Welcome, I'm Golden Boy alongside with Monster D-Face here, and it's been a great day. Really, there's nothing more that you could possibly say about it. And as I had mentioned before, the prizing, the money that these guys are battling it out for, this is it. First place will take home $3 million. Second place gets $2.2 million. Like, that's just absurd. You get in the, where is this here?
4 millionaires, 4 millionaire duos before the weekend is over, not to mention all the fame and clout that comes with it. So I think you'll be pretty well off at that point, but everyone's a winner here. We're here to celebrate all of the competitors that made it this far to the Fortnite World Cup final stage, because those 10 weekends of qualifications were not easy.
Yeah, when you get into 10th place, that's where you really start to rack up the coin. But Game 4 now about to begin. Here we go, folks. Let's see who's going to come out on top. We've had 3 different winners, but our top performers have been consistent through and through. Are we going to see a repeat winner? Are we going to get a new one to add to the list? It's now time. The battle bus is loaded up. Let's start Game 4.
And you know what? Every game so far, we've seen a new winner. I love that. Same thing with the Pro-Am. There was always some new duo showing that, hey, we've been playing this game. We're ready to take a victory. Everyone here has the potential to come out on top, and you see it unfold in those final moments.
Throughout the weekend, we've been doing interviews, meeting with fans, and talking to people, and a lot of folks have asked, who do you think's going to win, and who do you think's going to win? And I know it sounds like a cop-out answer, but I'm very real with you all. I have no freaking idea, because it truly is up. It's up in the air. This is a battle royale game. At any point in time, you can have Macwood and Calculator just having the game of their lives in Game 3, and now look, boom, they're going to be sitting in the top 10. I mean, how do you even predict that?
We nearly saw it with Zay and Sap. I think anyone with good logic can clearly put their money on people that have had prior experience, but even that is not enough, because Macwood and Calculator are showing that, hey, you know what? We don't even need that. We're here to slay.
Dubs and Mega, they're in 2nd place. They made their names in these qualifiers that led us up to this point. They did not find themselves in land. This is the first time these young men are up there playing on this stage. When I was their age, I couldn't even believe that I would be capable of doing something like that. And they're doing it, and they're doing it in style. And then, to make matters worse for everyone else in the server, they've been so consistent, deadly through.
Yeah, that's right. And they're in 2nd place, no victory royale. So just showing that if you step to their box, you're gonna get hurt. We saw Mega with a masterful, and I mean beautiful performance under storm surge pressure. He didn't even blink an eye, still fighting other players, fighting his way out of that desperate situation. Volks and Parpy, let's just hop into this duo right here. We'll talk about him a little bit. They are known for sticking to the hip in PvP. Earlier today, we saw Volks get traded out, but it wasn't just like an easy trade. They were actually winning the engagement up until that point, just showing that they have the skill. And that's the OCE region, right? One of the most feared regions here at the qualifiers, because of the fact that you just had to get a ton of elims. You had to be #1 in the region.
When talking to players, I would ask them, what are you looking to avoid? And every time, if it was, you know, the NAU players, they would say, I'm just trying to avoid OCE or Brazil. I don't want to have to deal with that. Because they play the hyper aggro style, and they just don't care who you are. They're going to go for the fight.
I mean, you saw Scarlet and Bell in that first game. I truly thought they were going to take the whole thing. It was so close.
Even Sinnoh on the Pro-Am yesterday, another top player
in the Asian
region, finished 2nd. And he was just, I know it's a Pro-Am, obviously a different competition there, but he was just going into boxes. He didn't care. Not a care in the world for them. Now, Volks and Parpy, you find a player above here, right by the jet stream.
And he hit him once for whites already, so that means there is no shield on that player. You can have up to 100 effective shield. That player's dangerously weak, and folks just keeping an eye on him. He doesn't know if he's slipped out already, and says, you know what, I'm gonna go back to my teammate. It's a little too risky getting split up here.
Yeah, play for the mid to late game in this situation now, but 7SSK is going to be dealing once again with Spades and Crimson. It seems like just a constant for them. They cannot seem to win out on this fight. Crimson's going to be down though, so the advantage could be going in the favor of Jamside and 7SSK. Spades going to have the high ground, now having to deal with a 1v2. Does he have what it takes to pull this one off? He doesn't own that wall. He has no more build. They're going to push out, and Spades couldn't deal with it, and that's going to be the win there for those two.
You would think for Jamside and SSK, like, hey, you know, we've been landing here, haven't been successful. Do you mix it up? They say, no, I'm going to stick to my guns here, because everyone's a winner, regardless.
The VP boys coming out on top. Week 6 qualifiers for them, and they just need that game, that one game. So many of these players, that catapults them into the top 10. And then the momentum shifts, the confidence starts to rise up. You think to yourself, I am capable of being able to do this.
Mongrel looking for it right here. Love this dual perspective right now. Mongrel's actually looking for a side angle. He's going for the offense, pushing out. Easy tracking this player down. It's really hard to tell. They're getting into, really just going deeper into Neo Tilted. If you hang on the outskirts or by the slips, you're at huge risk for getting dived onto. It looks like they say, you know what, we're just going to continue to push on through. Those guys dive off, and those markers are actually the trackers. They say, hey, they're going this way. Mongrel still wants a piece of this.
Keeping up with where players are moving in the crowded Neo Tilted. A new area that was introduced just a little while ago. Some players made Tilted Towers their home. This was a drop spot for so many, the likes of Nick Merckx, Aiden, right? But ever since it changed, you started to see players second guess whether or not they wanted to go to the new Tilted. Actually, when we went out to go get pizza and stuff, he had mentioned like Tilted's just a whole different beast. It's not something that he really would want to deal with. That's why you don't really see him going that way anymore.
Yeah, it's just a different lay of the land. As things start to shift, different comforts kind of tend to evolve and whatnot here. But we have Twiz in cover H looking for a push down right now. And they have the position, they have the high ground, and it's just a matter of, do we want to dive down? They don't want to give up their angle. They know this duo below them have a flint knock. Flint knock can do so much damage if you peek the wrong way. Minimal's gonna hit you for about 80.
This duo from New Zealand, we had a chance to talk to them. And great to see that friendship, the communication that they have with one another. Something that a lot of these duos that came together for the Fortnite World Cup duos portion of the finals don't really have. They don't have that cohesion, that chemistry that these two will have, right? That Saf and Zayt would have as well.
Crazy to think there's 89 players in the lobby and 48 duos, so a lot of disengages, a lot of solos out there right now. Keenstar and Hunter looking to defend themselves right now, and it's just a cat game right here, cat and mouse game. What are they going to do? They actually shockwave on out of there, and into the slip they go. They're out. They're trying to get away. That was a shadow bomb right there, and he's gone.
Yeah, I was a little worried about that duo that was coming in, but the storm is creeping up now. This is only phase 1. Nyx gets knocked by Zexro. Saw that in the elimination feed just a second ago. Item and Derox out in the wide open.
And it looks like, actually, they saw Mend right there building by himself in a one poor wooden shack, and they're pushing the shack now. So Twiz is going to hear these shots off in the distance, but looks like we're hopping over to the Loot Lake area where it's Macwood and Calculator going against Daedra and Miz. This is a top 10 contenders right here.
Game 3 winners now having to deal with Daedra and Miz. Shots as well, snipe shot. You just heard that one squeak by Daedra. Need to be careful there. There's some more shots being laid out. Disengage as well. And they're just really pushing them away from here because you got to get to that safe zone. Don't want to have to deal with the storm, obviously. It's still early games here, so you're not going to be ticked for too much. But you're really looking for this next zone. Where are you going to start to move here? And this, again, the game is going to be so slow in the start because as you get closer and closer to the end, game 4, critical game, Monster. So many points you can earn from this. Flying into the top 10 potentially if we have a new winner that was outside of it. This is where players start to, I guess it really sets in on them that they're going to be playing for $3 million in prizing.
Yeah, if it hasn't already, I don't know what world they're living in, but here it is. Twiz goes for the shockwave overhead, and it's Dirox who eats a chunky one right there. Cover H looking to chop this bad boy down. Here comes the sinkers. Is it going to be enough though? The pressure is so real right here.
Twiz and Cover H doing it, not only for themselves, doing it for New Zealand, their families, and everyone watching them at home. And that is going to be one elimination through. I saw that one pop up. That's #1 for the duo. The challenge comes in, and that's the win there. 2 elims total. Twiz gets them both.
He tried to get out there and play the trap play, but it was not enough. 7 SSK and Jamside have rotated in from Paradise Found. Oh no, down comes the Bill. He should be close enough. Yeah, he is going to be able to catch himself. Goes off, Golden Boy.
Twiz sur le duo, James contre SK7.
7 SSK7.
SK de tuer beaucoup là.
Going in for the fight, and
James
after winning that one out, it's going to be Jam and 7
SSK7
that get the better of the boys from New Zealand.
They found their stride coming into game 4 so far, and that means they're in the running right now. 4 elims is enough to put you on just about page 2 top 20. And we talked about it. If you can make it to that top 20 bracket, you're still in the running so far because there are several more games left before this thing is over here. This Calculator finds himself very high in the sky right here. He's got a nice little base. They're just waiting.
Yeah, waiting it out. Norwood's going to be beneath them. And those are the players that were forcing him out before. Oh no. Starting to hear the explosions, knocking him out.
Wow, he actually sent a shot when the splitter came in and hit Cease with that? What? How was Cease knocked right there?
Just, again, when it comes to Fortnite, you never know what you're really going to expect here. Players will always pull something out of the hat and surprise you each and every time. I was looking over at Mac. Now really having to deal with 2 players angling shots at him. Macwood back into a fighting position, a fighting posture to help his buddy out.
Yeah, and it's so unfortunate because they were just about to push to seal the deal on Elevate there, and that third party up on the mountain ruined that push.
Slows things down. Elevated Seas having to deal with the stinkers will be moving out of the fight now.
I love it right there. He uses the stinkers to back him off, and since he doesn't take friendly damage from it, he pushes right into enemy territory here. He's so offensive. He's on the enemy track. It gets over.
Not what you wanted to see happen after winning game #3, but Elevate and Seas, we mentioned them before. They just need that moment to pop off so everyone here in New York can see what they're capable of. Such a great duo, but now having to deal with Elevate, what a shot there on Calculator, sending him packing.
Calculator did a great job though. He did win his straight off against Cease. Ronaldo and Zip are just nearby though. Looks like they heard the commotion. They're getting closer. It's Norwood. Norwood's lurking about. He was like, you know what, getting closer, trying to see what he can do here. And Zip's gonna fall down here because of the shockwave.
Yeah, Norwood was the one down low, hearing all of the action happening. Zip and Ronaldo. Now in front of us. Do they manage to get this wall, just get ownership of it? But the ramp is going to be placed, giving him time to wiggle out of that moment of time.
And Norwood actually used all of his shockwaves there to disengage.
Yeah, it's not really worth it. By herself, evidently. Oh, man. And that's Norwood. Norwood tried.
Didn't get far.
He did not get far at all, my friend. But there's the other duo right in front of him. Zip and Ronaldo have him in the sights. Ronaldo's going to be on the other side now. Engaging in the fight, not taking any damage.
Such a good job, though. Good job by Zip here to come in and back up his teammate right now. He is trying desperately to get to his teammate here. This is great teamwork. Now they have the pinch lined up, and the trap is down. That's a siphon for Elevate right there.
That siphon could be the difference maker for him. Zip doesn't have any shields. Needs to take a moment to just pop the minis.
A little bit of a reset here.
He's still in this too, so he didn't get knocked. He's not full eliminated yet.
Which is rough. You don't convert the elim, you don't get the point either here. This Elevate is doing a great job on defense, but the Campfire heals down players as well. This is actually really, really smart of them to sit on the Campfire right now and just wait and buy time. Always looking to set up the phase through right there, trying to get through the build. Some shockwave comes out and
Mais c'est qui a tué Métro. C'est qui a tué mon gars qui a tué Flexi. C'est qui a tué Lexwin.
Between these two. Oh.
Snappy qui a tué
Snappy, he went for the shot from the distance. There you see him right there along with Red Rush. And then Zip down low on this island using not only the rocks but also this metal that he had just built up for himself to get out of this.
Zip is the target of the server at the moment, as everywhere he moves, he cannot seem to catch a break, but he is going to find a little bit of that high ground real estate right here and hopefully ease up the burden, but nope, has to change layers again. And now let's go ahead and take a look.
Oh, Funk qui a tué Kababy.
Funk!
Il est V qui vient de tuer.
I think I saw, I could have
okay,
sworn I saw Funk there, but no, I think that was Elevate. Apologies, that was Elevate that did get that.
The secure was there. Moving on now, taking a look at the other side of the map. We have Stompy and Shinken still in the game. Mongrel and Mitro, Benji and Savage, Aqua. All of these duos, very, very powerhouse duos here. Close by right now.
Full V, full build.
4 eliminations for Benji Fishy. 36 duos remaining.
Savage qui pareil, qui a même encore plus de construction pote.
So some water. Players will just have
qui
to
sont
build
mes
over.
thèmes
Nothing
méga bien.
that these guys can't handle. A lot of open air though. Lots of open air.
All right, Benji's at 4 eliminations here.
He's been having a good game. They've been playing well.
Playing very good. 4 elims.
Just the final moments, right?
This early in the game to have 4 elims is actually huge, and I love what they're doing right now, just fishing for damage, because Storm Surge, you never want to be under the pressure of the Storm Surge. They know that with 50 players in the lobby, dependent on the zone, Storm Surge will activate, excuse me. So 4 Stinkers is the perfect tool, perfect utility to have.
Can take some damage down on any of these players, getting comfortable inside of a box. Now looking at this, got Vinny down low in a campfire. Saw Aiden and Sean there too.
Y'a qui sur live pour savoir les gars là? Oh là, c'est qui donc le micro? Ils ont 1500 de construits. Ils sont encore mieux que Benji Savage. Oh là là, Mitro qui est tellement, 1300.
Take a look at this stat right here. Damage dealt, 842. The match average, every other player on average, 176. That's not even enough to take out a player with shield and health. So they're doing a lot of work on this lobby right now. And they are here to play. Looks like they're going to find themselves another spot. This is actually an interesting spot. But it's all good because they have launch pads. They can get up and over this cliff lip right here. And they're backside safe, so all they have to do is protect their forward angles.
I understand we did get some moments of Mongrel earlier on as he's trying to see where players are going to start to make some moves. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. We'll come back and see where they are currently.
Oh my, I'm dead. Nice! Nice! Oh my god, nice!
And that's why this is one of the best duos in Fortnite. Way to clutch up in those moments, man. Yeah, the nerves, they have to be shaking there. But Mongrel, just a steely stare. Love it. Love to see it.
Get out there and get yourself a duo that's going to clutch up for you today in the Fortnite game.
If your friend ain't doing it, drop him. You don't need him.
That's right, but you heard him. He said we're going to win loud and confidently. Mongrel and Mitro are here.
And they're here to win this game. That's the mission. But everyone else, all 33 duos that remain here have that same objective in mind. Luckily for them, I think that circle does work out for them just a tad.
And there it is, Storm Surge. It's now live.
And it's going to hurt some people.
You either have to do damage or less than 50 players have to be in the lobby. So 6 individual players right now are under it. Yep, that's it. Gustavo gets owned right there. Is Wishy going to be able to do something about it?
Storm Surge in effect. Dubs and Mega once again They're in second place in the leaderboards. 3 games have worked out very, very well for them.
And they can see that effect. You can see the storm surge around you.
Avant qu'il y ait une tuer.
51 players, only one player needs to be eliminated, and that will be it.
You know what? We ballin'. They out. They're going. They're trying to get that zone plan for placement right now. And do you blame them? Why not? They're in the lead right now. All they have to do is consistently skate through. They've gotten through the hardest part, the beginning. They're warmed up. As Mega is trying to fish around here and get a good spot in. Looks like they give themselves a little bit more real estate, but their pressure is in because the baller players come in.
Right in front of them too. More defense having to be played here. It's kind of shades of game 3 when they were in a similar spot, but this was from the high ground. This time will be right in front of them. The action has cooled though. They can take a moment to reset.
Definitely did cost a fair amount of metal right there. Mega now on 300 metals, trying to inch his way to that fence nearby. Just doing a little bit of a material swap right there. Back to Mr. Savage and Benji Fishy with the minigun. The minigun's so good for pressure plays.
Spread out a few of those materials. Get ready for the potential movement. The snaking is what you would hear players often mention. They tunnel out, give themselves some coverage. You need a lot of materials for that. Then the artillery strike from up above, a new item that was added. You can build around and give yourself some defense, so really it's just waiting it out rather than having to move out of the blast area. 5 elims for Mr. Savage and Benji Fishy. 6 for Mitro and Mongrel. This has certainly been a dominant game for EU thus far.
Yeah, for sure. As Yuang takes out Rote right there, EU player is gonna go down. Rote gets the trade out though, must have been the zone here as we are cutting across here. Mitro's trying to find some real estate here. Is he gonna be able to set up? He's going for the high ground. A little bit of a build-off, but Mongrel's got it under control. He's got the high. Who's putting some pressure down? Yeah, he's getting the shot straight across here, Golden.
Yeah, there was a duo right on the other side there that Mitro was concerned about. So he goes low. Then really, wherever you go, there are going to be players looking right at you. And sometimes you just manage to incur the wrath of the entire server. Luckily for Mitro, that did not happen quite yet. Saf, I just saw Saf get dropped. Zate's going to be separated from his teammate there across the side. And that is the circle creeping on forward. It's going to be open air, open space for them. So the ballers will have space to move around and try to survive here. This is it. It's coming down to the final moments, Monster, for a lot of these players. The pressure's on.
Yeah, Saf has already been taken out, so Zate is left to fend for himself here. Can he play for placement? We already know Mongrel Mitro were split up. Can they find themselves amongst the chaos here? Aqua and Nyrox are holding up the high ground here as well, and that's a scary duo. Top, uncontested.
Not someone that you want to have up above. Mitro. 6 after this. Doesn't really have much left to work with, and the builds go away pretty much instantly. Zate gets eliminated. So that's going to be the end of the duo that's currently in first place in the standings, but Mega and Dubs. Dubs is out as well. 4 eliminations for the duo at the bottom right of your screen. Mega very capable of being able to clutch this out by himself. But it will not be easy.
And Mongrel actually just slips into the low ground too right now, so he is trying to stay alive here. Jumps into someone's box. It's Voron who gets taken out right there by Mongrel. So Mega goes up and gets traded as well. Vinny's still here too. So many solos remain right now, but there are still several duos in the game here, Golden.
And the scariest duo is going to be up above. It's Aqua and Nyrox. They're carving this up, and they're putting down shots wherever they can. If they can get a few more eliminations, a few more points, that will jettison them up the leaderboard.
He has 7 elims as well right now. He has 7 already. Rojo jumps out of the box. Won't be still in the game.
Oh no, Sky. No.
Controller player.
Benji est solo.
Our boy Christian earlier mentioned he loves to get in the faces of players, and it has worked out for him thus far. Elevate is out of the game. 7 eliminations. It's not bad at all, and you're going to get the placements to boot. Still, Aqua and Nyrox up above. Then you got Benji Fishy in the game. 5 eliminations for him, 6 total with Mr. Savage's 1. Oh, this pops up in front of him. Oh, that's so scary there, but Benji Fishy is Sky.
He's been around the competitive scene for a long time, and for good reason right there. Nyrox now owning from the high ground, putting that pressure down. A shockwave was initiated right there, but it's not going to get enough. This is their control right here in the final moments. They're the only duo standing, Golden Boy.
This is their game to win. The cooler duo. Is this going to happen? As they're putting the pressure on these players down low, they're synergized, they're communicating, and they're ready to pick up this victory royale in Game 4.
He only has 10 builds though. This is very intense. Both of them don't have much here. He's gonna put all the splashes down. Is that the decision right there to commit? Looks like the shockwave is gonna cause an eruption in the high ground, and now they're in the zone here. What's gonna happen here? This is so close.
5 players remaining. Few left as the shockwave is going to send him all the way up.
Takes
out Falconer down low, and he's wrestling with everyone. But Nyrox is out. Oh no, he does manage to get the elimination.
No, look at this guy! No!
He gets the victory royale. 7 eliminations.
Don't do this guy!
A big win for Nyrox and Aqua.
Huge shockwave play in the moments right there. It's going to propel him to the high ground and allow him to go top down. But not only that, it chucked everyone into the zone for a couple of seconds right there. So it truly was the ultimate disruption right there.
The shockwave at the end of the game will just change everything. The complexion of it all. And just everything that had happened right at the end here. To Nyrox, he just went down low. He wanted to get scrappy with him. He goes down. That's Sky and Chapix. And then it's Aqua who follows it up. Flew up right into the sky there. I also like looking at the player's face at these moments because the focus that he has. Oh man.
To hit your shots, you must hit your shots. Look at that. Stompy, Shinken have talked about Aqua and Nyrox as players to look out for. They're scary competitors on the scene, and good to see them take a victory royale.
Yeah, in EU, right? So we've had 2 NA, 2 EU now. You know, getting a little scrappy out there.
Spicy.
I like to see it, right? Everyone's like, EU, where you at? NA, where you at, right? But hey, that is the game, right? You never know what you're gonna get. Safin's by 2 points. Dubs and Mega, they're looking for that victory royale. If they're able to get it, hey, they could find themselves in first. Vinny and Zetro in third place currently with 35 points, 5 shy of first place. Safin's 8 have to hold on to their title as the kings of the mountain. And in that last game, they just could not put it together. These last few games for this duo, this gap is between all of the players.
Les seuls français, c'est dans le top 15.
Take a look at your next page here. We saw plenty of spades and crims winning that Paradise Palms kind of early interaction, but one loss sets them way back to the second page now because you have to continue to accrue points here. But look, Epic Whale still here as well. There's a lot of players in the running.
Wild stuff from game 4.
Le français, Sky par contre, ma mère, il a fait top 2.
The EU duo, the cooler duo, managing to get their win on the world stage. I know that we're going to have Jordan in a little bit with the winners. He's getting everything together. I want to hear from these players, and good news is we are going to do just that. So send it on over to Jordan, who has our winners standing by.
A massive shift for EU here. We all know that shockwave grenades can absolutely shift the balance of in-game, especially allowing you to propel yourself up and work your way top down to dominate and control what was the most exciting final moments of in-game here today. What is your plan going into these next couple of games? There's a lot kind of hanging in the balance here, right? There's a big momentum shift for you, and you have the opportunity to kind of go any direction that you want. What's your plan?
Our plan is just to keep going what we're doing right now, just landing our spot and going for consistent placement points.
Consistent placement points, that's key and can absolutely take the Vic Roy home, as you saw just now. Back to you, GB and Monster.
Thank you so much, Jordan, for that one, and stay the course. No reason for you to adjust anything. If it worked out for you there, clearly you're doing something right, Monster.
Yeah, absolutely. I think these competitive players know best, and stubbornness is in their name. You saw Jamside, 7SSK say, hey, I don't care if I lose the first 3 times here. We're going to master this. We're going to turn it around. And they did. They had a great, at least, showing at some point at the last one. So Players are gonna stick to their guns.
Early engagements, man. That is just. I love seeing those fights with the great weapons, right? You really can tell who can figure it out with not much to work with. That's always the challenge that players have to deal with in the beginning of a game like this. Now, I do understand we have Ball standing by to break it down, and what we saw in game 4.
Je suis pas contre vous, mais c'est relou quoi.
Yeah, well, Aqua and Nyrox. Aqua and Nyrox definitely showed up here today, and the resurgence of EU is maybe starting. We've got 2 more games to go, but I want to talk about Mongrel and Mitro and what they had to do in this game here. They actually ran into Zexro and Vinny. We're going to start off. GB, you were talking about early game engagements. This is one that's been going in the duo of Mongrel and Mitro's favor against Skeptic and Clicks in Neo Tilted Towers. The pressure here from Mitro to find out exactly where the first player is. Mongrel up above, then targeting on both. They try to get into the same box at the same time. They go down and just continue pushing forward. Mongrel and Mitro, it's the second time that they win this engagement here today. It's not stopping. They continue forward onto Vox and Parpy and just try to hunt down everything. There Clicks is trying to escape as well. And then this snipe here from Mitro. He actually, not only did he hit that, and they get right into it onto Zexro, he hit Vinny coming in with a right before this. So one elimination there for them. They had the engagement that we saw earlier. We're going to go ahead and run it back because this puts them perfectly in position at 4th place right now. A reminder that this was with Mitro down after all was said and done. There he goes down, and then Mongrel comes in right on cue. He does not let his teammate go down. You heard the reactions earlier, and it continued because Mongrel got 1 more elimination in this game, leading to the 8 eliminations total before they fell, not before earning placements points, though. So this game, not only did they take out Vinny and Zexro, which were in 3rd place, they stopped them from accruing any more placement points, so they are inching their way closer. They're now in 4th place. They actually have the most elims out of everybody in the tournament so far on 20. So with 2 more games to go, we're going to see where they can leave themselves at the end. Back to you guys, GB and Monster.
Thank you so much, Vala, for the insight there. Everyone getting all ready for games 5 and 6. And then we crown our first ever Fortnite World Champion. Crazy to say out loud.
It's happening.
It's happening.
This is it. It's happening.
It's happening, right? Now, there have been a lot of duos that have been the talk of the town, but one duo in particular that have a lot of fans excited are Benji Fishy and Mr. Savage. And we did get an opportunity to catch up with them, and they're currently in 8th place. Can they climb up? Let's go ahead and check it out.
This is a scary duo. Benji Fishy and Mr. Savage.
Our communication is probably the best in the world.
I'm gonna rift us.
Yeah, go. I just think we're on another level.
Behind you. Double RPG, 3, 2, 1, go.
Absolute destruction there.
This dual partnership has changed our lives. We've been able to accomplish so much more together.
Let's go!
He encourages me, I encourage him.
We're best friends, we're duo partners, and it makes me smile.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
Check me again, bro! We're Savage! We're Benji Fishy, bro!
My name is Martin Foss Anderson, and I go by the name Mr. Savage.
My name is Benji Fish, and my in-game name is Benji Fishy.
One of the most terrifying duos coming out of Europe, period.
We live in different places, but we talk every day online.
I live in Oslo in Norway, and Benji lives...
I live in Surrey in the UK.
And I travel to England to meet him, see how he's doing here.
He has my back. If I ask him something, he'll help me out. We don't actually just play Fortnite. We play other games when we just want to have fun.
We have a lot of the same interests. He's always really humble. I love his personality. Yeah, we're great friends.
Oh, shoot. All right, yeah. Shoot. All right.
I'm too good for you.
There's a guy northwest of me. He has an RPG on north.
The reason why we're so good at playing duos is because we both have super good mechanical skills, good chemistry, and communication.
Hey, 120. Knocked one. Let's go, dude.
Everybody knew in the community that Savage was one of the best players in the world. He knows the game really well, so he makes really good calls.
Benji's just so insane at just eliminating people.
Benji Fishy is dialed in right now.
He just follows me perfectly. He fills in the gaps that I can't fill in.
You'd think a fish out of water would be harmless. Not this fishy. Not today.
People were definitely scared if they see some fishes running around Happy Hamlet.
You'd think fishes weren't really that scary, but Fortnite, it's quite the opposite.
Oh! We're in a really good state right now as a duo.
Let's just cross the lake. I think there's people on the other side.
We're playing super well.
Players, they continue to go down like flies.
We've been practicing. It's really nice to, you know, finally be able to
prove ourselves.
Fishy, fishy, Savage.
I think we're just going to show people how good we are.
Hey, look at that right there. Some fans of Mr. Savage and Benji Fishy. They were diabolical in the online qualifiers. And maybe, just maybe, with these last 2 games, they could pull it up and get themselves into top 3, maybe even first place. How crazy would that be?
Let's be honest, we've seen them do very well so far. Maybe not the performance they were looking for. I know they want to pull a victory. They have everything it takes. They can muscle up from 8th. They'll be up there.
It's going to be a challenge for not them, but every single player. But we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, games 5 and 6, and then we crown our first ever Fortnite World Champions. We'll see you on the other side.
Donc je cut la stream les gars et je vous fais des gros bisous. Voilà. Ciao.
I'm here in the player lounge right now, joined by our Pro-Am winners, RL Grimes and Airwalks. Wasn't totally expecting you'd win 2 in a row. Can you walk me through those final moments?
It felt really good. I don't think I would have won if I didn't have him.
Now, RL Grimes, you were holding your own, you were keeping up, you were staying alive, you were getting eliminated.
Ciao, ciao.